I like to think I changed as a human being overall just by not taking myself too seriously, not really being so ego driven about my message or like what I want to put out into the universe. Just to the people, whether it's a couple thousand, a couple million, or if it's just not even shit. I think as a person, I've changed for the better by learning how to be happy, or at least to the path of happiness by trying to simply be. And although I will slip up and I will find, myself losing myself, and, well, I get heartbroken a lot, that's for growth. I had to accept that I can't just run away from that shit because it's just gonna be a revolving door either way. You have to be heartbroken, you have to accept failure, and you have to adapt by simply accepting, not resisting, not enduring, not bribing, just accepting. You can't bribe reality. So how that translates into me as an artist these past 8 months is a lot of the things that I've been doing in terms of experimentation, me networking and finding better and amazing people like Saksu. It's really been more of just me trying to find how to express myself simply, effortlessly, still with that raw shit, still with that type of fucking absolute, like, this is me, you're not gonna get anywhere else, while also making a market for it, having it be goals I have more on myself is simply try to be healthy, or just try to do shit, always be on my feet, always be active, even if I'm not active, like I'm walking outside and shit like that. Just, am I making music today? Am I watching my diet? Am I drinking lots of water? Am I eating good food, good shit? Am I having a good time? Am I breaking a routine? Because I think the mind gets so fucking depressed when you do the same shit over and over, and it's just kind of like a complacent routine of just not wanting to do anything else, not being afraid to get out your comfort zone. So I always try to find a way that where like I'm in this perfect bubble of like I keep doing shit, but I also do shit because it's fun. I'm not living my life and being forced to do shit because it's some fucking type of bullshit, like I gotta program my mind and like only live life only doing this and only doing that. I don't live like that. I don't want to live like that. So for me, that's really what I do in terms of goals, short term. Long term, my goal is simply how can I constantly evolve with music? How can I evolve with everything else, like writing? How can I just evolve in general? Like, what can I do that could bring the next step into being an overall better human being? Yeah, Crimson 7 differs pretty incredibly from American anime that I just released because of a lot of factors, mostly in terms of experience, mixing, just how I conduct myself overall. I think if you were to go to like my back catalog, Crimson 7 is like a very, I don't want to say pretentious, but almost like a very self-imposed, like a very selfish attempt to just express myself, where I wasn't really even caring about how viable or, accessible that shit was to people. Obviously, there's some songs I'm proud about, like Avidya, Soul Karen, Joy-Con to Your Head. I love the fact that a lot of people support that shit. And Reject Relapse, even though the mix is atrocious, and if I could go back in time and remix it, I might actually do that. If I even have the stems or the vocal files, I'll probably do it. It's just like shit like Crimson 7. It was like all when I was in a really dark fucking place. I was in a super dark ass place. I was miserable. I didn't know who I really was, and I just felt like I wanted to express the unbinding of chains that I was having on my own ego that was controlling me, you know, where I made everything about my life, the way I saw myself, the way I saw others, the way I saw the shit that happened to me growing up, like, so complex in what it was, you know, so magnificent and imposing and horrific than what it really was. It was just like, shit, I don't know. I think it was like this line where I mentioned about being molested as a kid. Like, that shit, that did affect me a lot. And of course it's gonna affect everyone. But it was me having to go through that catharsis, I guess, like that kind of acceptance that, like, what happened to you really doesn't define who you are. It shouldn't define things. It shouldn't be as imposing upon you as you make it. Because, yeah, it's trauma. It's very traumatic. And I know a lot of people, it's easier said than done to just say, oh, just accept it, man. It happened. You know, move on. But I think when you can embrace the full darkness of the situation and you can't bribe it, like I said, you can't, you know, whatever, you just have to accept it. You have to purely, utterly accept what happened to you. That is when you could evolve and you could just not, I don't want to say like your trauma just goes away, but it's more like it's not destroying. Very little, but I think we're actually getting a lot of success because of me being friends with Saksu, me doing our ever first collab together, Keyboard Warriors, which is really successful, or at least to the equivalent of what I view success in the relevancies. You know, it's like, I think almost 13K right now, and it has like such a lot of support, such a lot of love, and very slowly we're getting a lot of active, well, I'm getting some fans active trickling from him, and it just feels amazing. It feels really good to like finally get some attention. I've been having some support thanks to Justin Bonnets, who is Hungry Lights, the front row singer of Tala, this really crazy, I'm not really familiar with genre names of metal, so if any metalheads are out there and they're listening to me like mislabel Tala, don't get fucking mad, but it's basically like somewhat new metalcore, if I could define it like that. They're definitely inspired by like Slipknot, and it's fucking amazing. But in terms of all that support and shit, my fan base, whatever you want to call it, it's just a lot of people who are really accepting and really like my shit. I got somewhat attention with wristlet freestyle off American Anime, and that shit's been banging pretty well, actually. I've been having some people that I actually look up to in the underground look at me a little bit, and it's very inspiring to see that. It's very inspiring to see just how the progression is worth it, because even though it's not much and I'm still not shit yet, it's like I know the potential's there and I'm growing and I'm gonna get there. No one's gonna fucking stop me. No one's gonna fucking stop Saksu. If anyone's gonna blow up, whether it's me or Saksu, it's definitely gonna be one of us. And I'm pretty sure Saksu's, there's something about him, dude. There's something about him that's gonna make him blow up. And I hope to fucking God that I get to be there with him to see his dreams come to life. Oh, the concept behind American Anime, it's kind of like a pseudo concept. I didn't really think with an idea this time. I kind of loosely had like a overall, you know, message. Essentially American Anime, if I was to define it, it's essentially just fucking a mock image of me as a mascot of American underground music like SoundCloud, where I'm obviously on lyrics like fuck on me thought. I'm being this ridiculous over the top clout chase like character that's saying crazy shit, like saying shit about being braggadocious and all that stuff, while also in the similar light I'm bringing like political concepts with titles like World Police, America is Canceled, about like cancel culture, the identity of America, and just overall like what I think is a bunch of fucking bullshit. Like absolute fucking bullshit. Um, I just feel like people. I feel like with American anime, my message is simply people try too fucking hard. Like people try way too fucking hard to either get clout, get attention, or they try too fucking hard to get accepted, to have acceptance, or like I guess woke points when it comes to shit like Twitter with cancel culture. That's why I said the line, Polly trying to stop me, Polly is a cracker, Polly trying to cancel Dalai Lama. Because literally these motherfuckers were like trying to cancel the Dalai Lama because of the fucking Young Turks saying, oh wow, this pervert wants to, he made a joke about how he wants to reincarnate as a fucking woman, a beautiful, you know, sexy woman. Dude, the Dalai Lama is a fucking, he's like an endangered fucking person with his own religion. His religion is literally dying out in fucking wherever. And you guys are just getting pissed off and in your feels because he said some fucking pervy remark about wanting to be a woman when he reincarnates. It's just stupid shit like that that like got me fucking like, fuck it. I just want to make like a braggadocious, distorted, super like fucking 808. I wanted like an 808 rate like rap shit where I'm just like really doing experimental stuff with my vocals and I'm being a lot more animated and silly and shit like that. And obviously the later half of the EP is I'm showcasing my metal like Crimson Velvet and God's Pet. This is where kind of like the loose concept of the American identity, you know, the mascot imagery, it kind of goes a little bit out the left door, like the left window. I'm not sure if I'm even using sayings correctly, but essentially with the last couple tracks, I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna talk from political to like super deep into like emotions about how it's all fucking ego. Like the song Crimson Velvet, which is based off, of course, of Berserk, the Crimson Velvet, which is a spiritual object that governs the human fate. That shit was like me trying to throw a curveball and showcase a deep-seated, like rooted darkness that happens in everyone to create that attention-seeking bullshit. You know, that fucking wanna be accepted shit when really people can't even look in the mirror and realize that they are the governor of their own fate, that they're just fucking, they don't gotta answer the shit, they don't gotta fucking see shit outside of themselves, they have it inside them, but they're acting like it's the fucking Crimson Velvet from Berserk that just fuck. Yeah, I'm actually working on a Halloween special thing going on. It might just only be a couple tracks or whatever. I'm singing a bunch of old songs I deleted that either from Lowlife, my trap metal group, or just my own singles, and I'm mashing them together with glitch effects. I'm pretty much trying to see if I can capture an anxiety-driven, distorted, almost Serial's Experiment Lane Wired-esque shit where it's all fucking, try to imagine like if the deep web made a fucking trap metal song, or if the deep web just made like a fucking rap song in general. That's pretty much what I'm trying to get at. And I have a couple tracks. I just released Nightmares Abstract. It's really just me going out of left field, out of my comfort zone, like actually trying shit that I haven't really done before. So honestly, if people don't fuck with it, people don't fuck with it. But so far, I like to really think that it's going somewhere. It's definitely something I want to try out with more of my future works, especially when I'm gonna start my first ever album. But that's pretty much what I have for like a Halloween special, is Nightmares Abstract and any other songs. I might make like a compilated EP called To Be Wired, which is gonna be a bunch of mashups of my old ass songs like Again, Goodbye to You, Hello Hollow, and some low life tracks on there that just didn't make the cut. And obviously, in terms of other projects, shit ton of collabs with Saksu. Musin and I just released another collab together. Two collabs, actually. He Shares My Face, which is a During Graey remix. And what's that other song we just released? What You Owe. What You Owe. We have a lot of other shit coming out. Lowlife's finally fucking making an EP too. Holy shit, that only took us a year after Burial. But we're making a fucking EP, and I'm pretty much being a fox-tailed liar. Dungeons and Dragons, bro. Dungeons and Dragons. I don't give a fuck if that is some corny nerd shit. I am into D&D, and I have been for like 2 years now, and it's because of fucking Justin that got me into that shit. Well, actually, Justin and Musin's fucking partner that got me into that shit. And I was like, at first, when I got into Dungeons and Dragons, no shit, I was like, this is a bunch of fucking bullshit. Like, I was like, this is gonna be nerdy, like, algebra fucking level equations with how to just, like, shoot a fucking bow and arrow or whatever the hell at a goblin. And I gotta be, like, super duper LARP where I can't just be a fucking evil paladin or some shit. But then we were playing 5th edition, which is a lot more nuanced compared to the other editions. And, dude, I had so much fun. I played a villain. Like, I actually played a horrible creature. I played a Dragonborn, which are like these half-dragon people, essentially. And I was a half-dragon barbarian that was just a fucking, like, a bandit leader. I was going around, like, breaking old farmer man's legs and taking their gold. I was going to brothels and taking, like, fucking all the women in the whorehouse. We were doing a whole jail heist and everything to rescue someone out of there. It was insane. Like, and the emotional attachment you get when you roleplay a character is really weird, because it's like, it's almost the best way to tell a story ever. Like, make a setting as a dungeon master or a game master, and you just have the players write the story for you, like what they do, whatever it is, and you just have to, like, throw plot hooks at them, you know. I think that shit's amazing. Like, especially with how I always love fucking doing voices. I always want to see if I could get into voice acting. So this is almost a perfect way for me to almost practice, where I could just keep playing different characters, making different characters, doing different concepts and ideas for characters. And of course, as a DM, I could flex my concept ideas of making a story and how to, like, morph a whole ass, like, fuck, man, I don't even know. Like, just a whole adventure for people. So definitely Dungeons and Dragons. Writing, of course, has been a thing I've been doing for a couple years, very amateurly. I can't even finish a draft of a full-ass book yet, because it's like, whenever I think I'm done and I ever think I'm like, alright, I got this shit done, I'm out, the book is ready, let's find a publisher or independent, whatever. It's like, oh, you have 18,000 different mistakes and you didn't even use passive voice or active voice, whatever the fuck. And you also have to remove every time you say like and if and as, and it's like, oh, because obviously everyone who talks, they have different I want to say addictions, different habits. That's what I'm looking for. They got like different fucking habits in what they talk. Like for me, I say like every fucking time. Like. And I can't stop fucking doing that. So for other people it'd be, you know, or right? But how you write, you can't just write it like that. You have to actually sit down and you have to make the narrator really cool and make the narrator like super refreshing all at once. And that's so fucking hard because you're a normal person. Like, how do you fucking do that? How do you do that where you're not doing the same habits that every person in their normal way of English fucking does? Where they're just saying the same shit over and over as a way of structuring a sentence. It's really hard. Um, in terms of other things, of course, voice acting, like I said, I want to get into that. I always have fun doing voices. I always have fun playing a character. I definitely do that in music a lot, especially with American anime. Really, that's about it. I mean, besides that, I just like to talk to people. I never shut the fuck up because for the first 6 years of my life, I didn't talk. So, ooh, what makes me stand out from other artists? If you would have told me a year ago, I would have been some fucking stupid asshole that says, "Oh, my versatility and wanna." No, that's so shallow. I'm sorry, I don't want to insult people, but that doesn't make you a cool artist. It doesn't make you stand out. Everyone's trying to be versatile now. You know, there's a difference between being versatile, trying to be, and actually doing it. And I think the only way you could actually be versatile, in my opinion at least, is if you stop trying and you just are. It's okay if you mostly like to do one thing. For me, I like to do rage shit. I like to scream, yell, and rap. I love it. Obviously, I sing. Obviously, I can rap. And obviously, I could scream. But it doesn't mean that I'm gonna just fucking try, like, oh, let me just finesse how much I can make. Like, I just do experimental shit because it's fun. I want to try new shit and I want to see where I could go with it. It's not me ever trying to prove a point or prove myself or be better or avant-garde than other people, you know? That's for me now. I would say what makes me stand out from other artists is simply being me simply. My image, everything, my aesthetics. I'm just trying to find myself. And I'm not out here trying to chase an image, chase a market for people. I'm trying to make me a market. You know, I'm trying to create a bubble, a space for people like me to find me. And that's pretty much what I'm trying to do. I'm not really out here trying to attract the hype beasts or the fucking trap metal fans, this whatever. I'm trying to find people who are like me, who grew up on crazy shit like Graey, Census Fail, System of a Down, Motion City Soundtrack, to Boa and Frank Sinatra, to fucking Tupac and XXXTentacion and JPEG Mafia, Denzel Curry, and even like I pay attention to a lot of underground shit like Januskus or Little Darky, you know, all these amazing artists that really are outliers. They're kind of like punks. They're always like punks in their own way. They're outcasts of society. I want to just like take all that shit, all that, and because I'm obviously influenced by these guys from underground to popular or whatever the fuck, I'm just trying to like do that with myself. I'm trying to just express myself in a way that could teach people to like, yo, you could just do this shit. Like, there's a market for this. There's a market to be you, simply. You don't have to be fucking Justin Bieber. You don't gotta be fucking, X. You don't gotta be a Scar-Lord type artist or a fucking Zillakami type artist. You just gotta be you. That's pretty much what I'm trying to get at. And I think what makes me stand out is every little shit I say, cryptic or whatever, it's just shit I like to do. Like, obviously, I showcased me as a kitsune. I've done EP concepts like American Anime, Crimson 7. That's not because I'm trying to like be this. It's because that's what I want to show. I just want to do it. I want people as an artist to just do rather than fucking, I guess, try to look or stop trying and just do, you know? Like, if you could do it, you could do it. And if you fail at doing it, that's when you learn and should try to learn. That's the only time you should try. Yeah, my final thoughts are really like, if I was to give like an overall message of this interview, because I know I've been waiting for this shit for a long ass time, bro, and you've been fucking with me on this shit, bro. I've been waiting. Um, really just understand the ego is complex and people are simple. Like when you think some shit is really fucked up and you feel like you're stuck in a rut, or like you feel trapped in the world and everything's so confining and all the walls are like closing in on you, it really isn't that way. Like you have to just step outside of yourself, accept the dark shit that's coming at you, and just understand that it's a simple truth. Like people are simple. Life is simple. It's just our ego, when we have to translate shit and filter it out when we live in a society or whatever. And before the fucking Joker meme, we live in a society, but you know what I'm saying. When we live in a society, we interact with people, and we only can understand ourselves through other people, like our parents, our teachers, all that shit, and we get lost along the way, and we only know like filters and moral ideas through society and other people, whether you're from the Middle East or America, Asia or Russia. That's when we lose ourselves along the way versus what truly is the expression of like, who am I simply? Like, who am I simply with all these issues, and what is simply the truth of this issue that I'm dealing with? Why am I depressed? Why am I suicidal? And I know that, like I said before with the first question, or not the first question, whatever the question was that prompted me to talk about some of the shit I went through, it's always easier said than done to just say, oh, it's just this. But that's because when I say it's easier said than done, it's because your ego, in a lot of ways, and I think this is true of everything. Obviously, this is, I can only say it from my perspective, but I think it's true that we complicate shit way more than it is. And that's why it's harder to just simply accept shit, because the ego never accepts the truth. So my message to people is really sit down and think, how much are you allowing your personality, your behavior, the way you think, the way you talk, the way you interact when you have anxiety around people, the way you interact when you're nervous or you're having social anxiety, you can't get out of your house, or simply put, you just really are insecure about how you look. How much of that is ego and how much of that is truly you? Because I'll tell you one thing, I kicked a lot of shit. Like I started losing weight. I stopped drinking. I stopped thinking the world was so fucking dark and twisted and shit when I started making music and chasing my dreams for once. And even then, as I went through all these changes and I went through all these positives, right? A lot of what was keeping me back was my worldview, was my ego. So it wasn't just a physical transformation, an emotional transformation. It was a spiritual transformation. And that would define my mental one too. So I think it's just, there's simple truths and there's complex lies, and you can only choose one or the other. You can't bribe reality.